Hello and welcome back to the Eastwick Conference's film breakdown series, where for the first time we're finally going to be talking about a player that was traded at the trade deadline, and that is Jonathan Kuminga of the Atlanta Hawks. Now, Jalen Johnson, this team's all-star who plays the same position as Kuminga, got hurt at the start of this game, only played 5 minutes, and that really opened up some room for Kuminga to show out, and show out he did. In just 24 minutes played, he put up 27 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 assists. So I just wanted to spend some time to talk about what he does that fits in with this Atlanta Hawks team, how he plays in ways that they want to play, and some reasons he might be able to elevate this team, and how the way they play might actually be able to elevate him a little bit too. So the first, and really in my opinion, the biggest area where there's a real coalescence between the skill set of Kuminga and the way that the Hawks want to play is in transition. This team loves to run, and Kuminga is obviously exceptionally athletic. So he had a bunch of buckets early in his Hawks tenure that were just run down the floor, beat your man with just your foot speed, and you're able to get wide open dunks running down the lane just like that. This one, great steal by Dyson Daniels. We know that he does that, and an even better pass, and Kuminga just needs to run the floor, and he gets a wide open dunk there. But obviously, the game is not only played in the open floor, and there are some things that I saw that interested me from Kuminga in the half court. So this one, he's starting away from the ball. Throughout his career, he has always been a guy that defenses are okay sagging off of as a shooter, letting him try to beat them as a jump shooter, deny him real driving lanes. And so you see here, they're not really paying much attention to him in the corner here. And so he does a great job cutting backdoor, eating into all of this space. And again, he can use his athleticism as a play finisher under the basket. There he actually gets an and one. But then on the ball, there is some potential as well. This is a Hawks team that loves to make quick decisions and pass the ball a lot. And so you see here, Gabe Vincent comes off of the pick and roll. Kuminga just needs to catch and drive that closeout. Champagnie was just a little too far helped off. And again, that quick twitch lets him just drive that gap and get to the basket with ease. That's something that is pretty important and encouraging for me to see. And then here, we saw this a couple times where he starts with the ball right at that elbow in that mid post there. He turns and he's able to get to that hook shot. Here he draws free throws, but for a half-court offense that doesn't always have the most pop, obviously CJ McCollum is in-house now, but he's not the CJ McCollum of years past. Nickeil Alexander-Walker having a great season, not that much of a shot creator. Jalen Johnson still growing into himself in that regard, and he's not even playing right now. Having a guy like Kuminga that can get to a spot that he's comfortable with and look for a shot in times where the game really slows down, that could be quite important for the Hawks, and it's something that I will be watching for the rest of the season for sure. And then I do want to end this by talking about the shooting a little bit. He did go 3 for 4 in this game. He looked pretty confident, especially from the corners. He's never been a shot creator above the break from distance, really a catch and shoot guy. We'll have to track those numbers because, again, as I said, defenders are pretty okay with sagging off of him and letting him take these shots. But you see back to back from that corner, looking at the bench on that first one. And then here, really, he actually does a Steph Curry no-look turnaround at the very end, damn near. That's something to monitor, but if he can up that corner three-point percentage and become a reliable weapon, it just adds to the ways that he can bring value to this team as a scorer, really on the offensive end of the floor for a Hawks team that you would think is better on offense than it really is. Now I want to talk about the passing, though, because I said he had 4 assists in this game. Jonathan Kuminga has never been thought of as a high-level shot creator. He's not a guy that's going to be making plays for his teammates like that, drawing attention and reading the floor, dissecting that like that. But his 4 assists really highlighted how the Hawks want to play again, and then also some ways that they can use him within their ball movement-heavy ethos. So obviously, I don't want to disparage him as a passer necessarily, because it's important to note that he spent his entire career with the Golden State Warriors up to this point, who passed the ball a lot. And this Hawks team passes more than anybody, and their offense is built around making quick decisions and just moving the ball, creating little tiny advantages and shots for your teammates. Kuminga was very much a part of that. You see there, doesn't have the drive, just gets off the ball. There's a Gabe Vincent 3. On this one, Jock Landale passes out of the post. Kuminga just swings the ball, keeps it going. Then Vincent gets to drive a closeout again. That's another quick movement assist. Those are very much Atlanta Hawk type assists. And then here, this is something you see Jalen Johnson do all the time, and that we just saw Kuminga on the other end of, just get a rebound, throw the ball up on that kick ahead. But here, this one is what really interests me in how they can use Kuminga in multiple ways as an offensive player. So we've seen him as a play finisher, as a shooter in the corners, as a transition rim runner, basically. Here we see him setting a screen for Gabe Vincent, and the Wizards are playing it pretty aggressively. So they're sending a second guy up to the level, and that leaves Kuminga really open here on the roll. That's going to pull Trey Johnson from the weak side corner to try to contain that. And so Kuminga, once again, his athleticism athleticism really forces that rotation to come and happen. He has a shot here theoretically. Potentially, he could have gotten an and one. You see Johnson has his hands in the cookie jar. But he makes a read that has me really encouraged, and that is to pass it to a wide open Nickeil Alexander-Walker, really good catch and shoot three-point shooter, 20-point per game scorer this season, keeping the ball rolling, keeping that chain alive of advantage. That's a way that Kuminga hasn't always been the most inclined to be used throughout his career, but if you can utilize his athleticism as a roll threat, as a vertical gravity type guy, that's a phrase about when you are able to roll to the rim and pull defenders towards you because of your threat of finishing over the rim at the basket, and use that as another way within the half court to grease the wheels of this Hawks attack, combined with their ball movement, you can really get teams in rotation and keep them in rotation on a consistent level there. And that's something that I think is pretty encouraging. We'll have to see how long it sticks. We'll see how long Jalen Johnson is out, because if he doesn't come back in the next few games, Kuminga will have a real runway here. He might end up starting games down the stretch. And he'll have a real opportunity that I didn't know that he was going to because of Jalen Johnson's place at the top of this Hawks hierarchy. In any case, I'm really encouraged by this start, and I'm fascinated to see how the rest of the season goes for the Hawks and for Kuminga as he heads into free agency this summer, potentially with a team option that I have a feeling the Hawks are going to decline for a number of reasons that I don't have to get into. In any case, if you watch the Hawks for the rest of the season, bunch of new pieces in town after the deadline, Kuminga chief among them. Keep your eye out for this guy because it's a pretty interesting saga. Epilogue to the saga, I guess, of his time with the Golden State Warriors. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you as always, and I hope that you have a great day.